Hey, what's up? It's Silas, back with book review number 9, From Poverty to Power by James Allen. James Allen has become one of my favorite authors. He wrote As a Man Thinketh and also Mastery of Destiny, 2 books that I've taken notes on, and I review those notes quite often. This book is really about the power that sits outside of just making money. The book is called From Poverty to Power, but it's really more about having um, uh, a step away from an impoverished mindset, not necessarily being poor financially. Although if you apply the principles in the book, I believe that it will also take you to a point of financial wealth. But it's really about removing yourself from any sort of impoverished mindset that you may have. Um, the big theme in this book is self-denial. If you can deny yourself, if you can reduce your desires, if you can reduce yourself and elevate your mind to be committed to the work in front of you, then that's an opportunity for you to become empowered. Again, not necessarily or solely financially, but to have more control over your life. Early in the book, James Allen talks about the fact that there is no evil in the universe, which is not a result of ignorance. And we have to be willing to learn the lesson, to be led by higher wisdom, and then that ignorance will vanish away. So that's one of the first major points in the book, again, From Poverty to Power. He talks a lot in his books about living a virtuous life. And one of the things that he talks about is not comparing yourself to other people, running your own race, understanding that the conditions that are around you are not as important as the condition on the inside of you. And you have to treat yourself as a sanctuary. And so this idea of being empowered is about really controlling self, being able to put yourself within the confines of the rules that are necessary to remain disciplined, and to really get to a point where you've reduced self so much that your whole purpose is to be powerful for the sake of helping other people. One of the things that he talked about in the book that I thought was really interesting, he talked about the connection between having a powerful mind and sickness, physical sickness. And he gave us an example of, in the ancient times in India, the Indian people often thought that if you died of a sickness, it was a disgrace, and that essentially that death was unpardonable. And there was an indication that you were in violation of some sort of law, spiritual law, more than likely. And the idea was that evil starts within, and that disease is something that's evil, and that somehow if you change your mindset and really commit to denying self and doing everything to be able to discipline yourself, that you could actually sidestep physical disease. That was something that I thought about throughout the days when I read the book. I'm not sold totally on that concept, but I do believe that disciplining your mindset and disciplining yourself with respect to your actions will cause you to be able to sidestep a lot of the things that are related to disease. And in some instances, you can't avoid disease. Some of it's not on you, or at least that's what I believe. But that was a point in the book that was made that caused me to do a lot of deep reflection. And James Allen books, for me, are books that caused me to reflect. And I thought that was one of the bigger moments in the book for me. He talks about happiness and how happiness is really about harmony. I know we talk a lot about work-life balance, but I've heard people reference harmony versus balance, and that's where true happiness comes from. And so he also talks about what paradise really is, and it's good thought, good word, good deed, and being good in every situation. Your thoughts always being good, your word always being good, and your deeds are always good. He talked about meditation in the book to get you to a place of peace. And he stated that you cannot gain heavenly possessions without making an effort, the same way you can't gain earthly ones. And oftentimes, those of us who are spiritual, we want to pray away things, but he talks about the importance of sacrifice and taking action and effort to be able to get what you want from a heavenly or a spiritual perspective. There was a quote that I wrote down from the book in the passage. It said, "He who, possessed of health and strength, wastes the calm, precious hours of the silent morning in drowsy indulgence and is totally unfit to climb the heavenly heights." So basically what it's saying with that quote is, if we have the health and strength, we should be utilizing the early part of our days and not being drowsy and indulge in sleep or any sort of distracting activities at that point. And so he talks about the 24-hour cycle, but the importance of the morning and how setting your day allows you to be disciplined. So there are a lot of things that he shares in the book that I thought are things that I'll review a lot in my notes moving forward. And so, as always with his books, they cause me to think. I think if there are people who are at a crossroads and really trying to figure out what their life is going to be, this is a good book to read. So From Poverty to Power by James Allen, the author of As a Man Thinketh and Mastery of Destiny, two other books that I really like. And it's a high recommendation for me because, again, the things that I've read from James Allen has always been pretty good. So take a look at the book From Poverty to Power. Take a look at the other reviews I've done on my page. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. I would really appreciate that. Again, this is book 9 of the year. And thank you guys for tuning in as always.